I respect my enemy, and I will fight with honor. I know you've got a total obsession with samurai stuff, and are always craving games with a samurai setting. This list will make sure your heart stays true to the way of the samurai.
おかげで恩師の心を取り戻せた。
Dude, we gotta start with this insane upcoming drop. Yeah, the full game isn't actually out till September, but have you played the demo yet? It is literally mind-blowing. Capcom is finally reviving this absolute classic franchise after what feels like forever. You step into the shoes of Miyamoto Musashi in this super dark, messed up version of Edo Kyoto, and the whole vibe is just immaculate. Slashing through those freaky Genma demons feels so ridiculously smooth, man. You get these wild, crazy, overpowered moves that just instantly delete enemy health bars. If this doesn't end up being my personal game of the year, I'll be genuinely shocked.
You're a good one.
Okay, so sometimes you just do not want a super deep story. You just want to turn off your brain and totally wreck stuff, right? That is exactly what Samurai Warriors 5 is for. They completely overhauled the graphics with this sick, cel-shaded anime style that looks absolutely amazing. You are basically running around as young Nobunaga, mashing a couple of buttons, and suddenly you are juggling 50 dudes in the air at once. It is hilarious and so addicting. Do not go into this expecting some ultra-realistic tactical samurai simulator. It is a Musou game, dude. You exist to be a human blender on a massive battlefield with thousands of guys just waiting to get launched into orbit.
Thus torn, and the Imagawa revelries set the stage for decisive...
Man, we can't talk about feudal Japan without bowing down to the king of strategy, Total War Shogun 2. If you've ever wanted to sit back and command literally thousands of troops like a real warlord, this is the one. You pick a clan, manage your towns, and then just ruthlessly conquer your neighbors. The coolest part is zooming the camera all the way into the mud and watching your samurai actually clash with the other guys. It never gets old. The AI will absolutely punish you if you make stupid mistakes, though. You gotta actually think about flanking and terrain. Even years later, nothing really beats that high of pulling off a massive ambush and watching the enemy army totally shatter and run away.
This is his third attempt to reduce the island citadel.
Looks like a whole nest of guards. Would have thought.
So Shadow Tactics is a massive hidden gem, honestly. Instead of just sprinting around swinging a sword, you're playing this insanely tense game of pure stealth. You control a tiny crew of misfits like ninjas, samurai, and snipers, and have to sneak through these gorgeous giant levels. It is basically a hardcore puzzle game that constantly wants you dead. You will screw up. You will get caught a lot, but then you hit quick load, tweak your plan, and finally pull off this perfectly timed synchronized kill on 3 guards at once. But if you like feeling like an absolute tactical genius pulling off the perfect heist, you really gotta play it.
We shall not fail. Behind enemy lines again.
This is a glorious day.
Look, when the team behind Nioh makes an open-world game, you know the combat is going to absolutely slap. Rise of the Rōnin drops you into the Bakumatsu era, which was a wild, messy time in Japan. You play as a masterless samurai just wandering around Yokohama, choosing sides and getting into endless trouble. The fighting mechanics are just chef's kiss. You can parry with a katana, blast a dude with a revolver, and then grapple hook onto a roof like Batman. Sure, the graphics might not blow your mind compared to some other huge games, but who even cares when fighting feels this incredible? Getting lost in this world and mastering all the different weapons is just pure fun. We literally begged Ubisoft for a Japan setting for like a decade. And man, they actually cooked with Assassin's Creed Shadows. Having two main characters is such a game changer. Whenever I'm feeling sneaky, I play as Naoi. She does all the classic ninja parkour, hiding in shadows, throwing kunai. It feels super classic IC. But then when I inevitably mess up stealth, I swap to Yasuke. He is just a walking tank. You bust through doors in heavy armor and literally crush people with a giant club. Plus, the changing seasons actually matter. Sneaking through a fort in the dead of winter while it's snowing feels entirely different than in the summer.
忠義のためと歌いながらも過ちを犯してきたんじゃ。
Okay, imagine the sheer chaos of a Yakuza game, but you throw everybody into the 1860s and give them swords. That's Ishin. And it is a total trip. You're playing as Sakamoto Ryoma, but he looks and acts exactly like Kiryu, which is just hilarious from the jump. 1 minute, you're wrapped up in this super serious, bloody political betrayal, and the next, you're aggressively chopping vegetables in a cooking minigame or singing your heart out. The combat is wild too. You can literally fight with a katana in one hand and a gun in the other, spinning around like a maniac. It is so weird, completely over the top, and just an absolute blast from start to finish. If you are a glutton for punishment and love Dark Souls, buddy, you have to play Nioh. It's basically a hyper-aggressive Souls-like mixed with Diablo-style loot drops, set in a really dark, demonic version of Japan. The combat is terrifyingly deep. You're constantly swapping between high, mid, and low stances mid-combo, managing your stamina, and trying not to get one-shotted by some giant yokai monster. It will kick your teeth in over and over again. I'm not gonna lie, there were times I wanted to throw my controller through a wall. But the rush you get when you finally figure out a boss's moveset and absolutely destroy them? Unmatched. I can't even talk about sword fighting without bringing up Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. It literally ruined other action games for me. You can't just spam roll or hide behind a shield here. You have to stand your ground and parry every single swing like a boss. Once you finally get the rhythm down, the clashing swords sound like a beautiful, violent concert. The world of Ashina is so bleak and gorgeous, and swinging around with the grappling arm never gets old. The bosses are brutally hard, like legendary levels of hard. But when you finally land that last shinobi death blow on a boss that's been terrorizing you for 3 straight days, you feel like an actual god. And finally, the undisputed kings of the genre. Ghost of Tsushima and Yōtei are just breathtaking. Riding your horse through those vibrant fields while the wind literally guides you is one of the coolest things I've ever experienced in gaming. Jin Sakai's story is incredible, and the sword duels make you feel like you're starring in a classic samurai movie. It's pure cinema. Then Sucker Punch hit us with Yōtei last year, and my jaw dropped all over again. Moving the timeline forward and throwing Atsu into the wild, snowy mountains of Hokkaido was such a brilliant move. The new weapons are so sick, both of these games are just absolute masterpieces.
Who saved Yarikawa? Nioh! Stay back! You must be... Please, don't hurt me!
You were arming the...